I speak Spanish too. I'm fluent in Spanish. I don't tell people that. I like to surprise them. Because one of the perks about being black and being fluent in Spanish is occasionally you get to hear other Spanish people say racist shit about you right to your face. That's always a good experience. Sometimes it can get weird. Like one time I was in an Uber and the driver was on the phone and he said something about me in Spanish. So when he got off the phone, I tried to let him know, like, yo, I understood what you said about me. And then he tried to pretend that he didn't understand Spanish. I was like, but I just heard you. I heard you speaking Spanish. And you're wearing 3 rosaries. I know you understand Spanish, Alejandro. Thank you. I'm in a good mood, too. Like, a lot of people, I'm always in a good mood. That's kind of my thing. Like, I'm always happy. I'm always very positive. People think it's weird. A lot of people ask me, like, yeah, you're never angry. Are you in therapy? Like, how come you're never angry? I don't do therapy. This is how I deal with my aggression. You guys can try it if you like. Before I leave my house, I like to listen to at least 45 minutes of gangster rap music. That's black people therapy. That's how we work on our issues. Something about gunshots and police sirens. It's like a white noise machine for us. Makes us feel centered, you know? And I like old school rap. That's my favorite. I like old school. Like Tupac is my favorite rapper. I love Tupac. He's been dead over 20 years, but his music still makes you relate to things you never been through. Stuff you never experienced, you hear Tupac talk about it, you're like, yeah. I know what you mean, Tupac. I get it. My favorite Tupac song is Dear Mama. Dear Mama, that's the song he writes to his mom. In it, he got a line where he says to his mom, he says, even as a crack fiend, mama, you always were a black queen, mama. And I don't think my mom's ever tried crack. But that did not stop me from writing those lyrics on her Mother's Day card. Tupac had me inspired. I was like, wait till you read this, ma. This is from the heart. I mean this. I like to joke around with my mom like that because she doesn't understand. My mom speaks Spanish. That's her language because she was born in the Dominican Republic. But she moved to this country as a teenager. So she's been living in the United States for over 45 years now. Still don't speak a word of English. People think that's lazy. I think that takes skill. You know how committed you gotta be to live somewhere for 45 years and not pick up on a single word? That takes Navy SEAL level training. And I don't know why we say that to immigrants anyway. That's what we expect from immigrants. We're like, if you're gonna move to this country, you gotta learn our language and adapt to our culture. We say that. America, the country that won't adapt to the metric system. The international unit for measuring. We're like, yeah, we're not gonna learn that. And the rest of the world, they try to convince us. You ever traveled abroad? They try to talk you into it. They're like, look, kilometers is a lot easier. And we're like, yeah, but we already made our signs. I'm sorry. We can't change. You guys gotta change. I'm sorry. I think not adapting to society is the most American thing you could do. And I'm a proud American. I was born and raised in New York City. And if I ever had to live in another country, I ain't adapting to shit. I'm bringing New York City with me. I got a New York attitude. I can't live anywhere else. I could be in the nicest place. I could be in Canada. I get on the train pissed off for no reason. Like, yo, why nobody masturbating in here? Nobody masturbates on your trains? I don't feel safe. Take me home. I don't like it here. What are you guys hiding? I don't like it. I think that's one of the perks about being from New York City. A lot of people don't like New Yorkers. It's not that we're bad people. It's just we deal with so many weirdos on a daily basis. It's tough for us to care about what the rest of the country cares about. Like, I travel now. I go all over the country. There's places in this country, people are arguing about gender pronouns. That's ridiculous. People will argue with you about how you want to be addressed. That's crazy. In New York, nobody's arguing about that. You want me to call you they? I'll call you they. There's a crackhead in my neighborhood, I gotta call Beyonce. That's what he go by. He told us one day at the bus stop. He was like, yo, my name is Beyonce. And then he started peeing on the bus. Everybody was like, oh, Beyonce, lemonade, we got it. We don't got time to argue with you. We gotta go to work. This is New York City. I'll call you whatever you want to be called. One time it got awkward. One time this dude wanted me to call him King. He told me his name was King Jonathan. And I had no problem. I was like, I'll call you King, but I wanted to make sure. I was like, are you sure that your first name is King? He got upset that I even questioned him. He's like, don't worry if my name is King, okay? I think a king is somebody who knows their worth, and I know how much I'm worth, so I consider myself a king. I was like, that's fine. But Uber says I need to look for a Jonathan. I don't know if you want to send them an email and let them know about your kingdom, but they probably don't know. Because you drive a Toyota Corolla. That's why I love being from this city. A lot of people complain about the cost of living here, which is true. Cost of living is very high. Rent is very high. But that's one of the benefits of having a high cost of living. Nobody judges you by what you do here. If you survive in New York, people kind of just encourage it. Like, all right, get it how you could get it, you know? Like, there's this dude on my block that sells waters. He sells those $1 Poland Spring bottles of water. He's been selling waters for like 5 years. I never bought a water from him. I always kind of just walk right by him. The other day I was walking by, he stopped me. He's like, hey, man, do you live on this block? And I was like, yeah, I live right up the street. And he was like, then you should definitely buy a water from me, because I could easily be on your corner selling drugs. I was like, you easily could be selling drugs? Then you should be selling drugs. I was like, this is New York City. You got to have ambition to make it in New York City. Like, can't pay your rent with waters. I'm at a good place, too. I'm trying to figure it out right now. I just turned 29. I'm 29, no kids, not married. My family thinks right now is the perfect time to start thinking about having a kid, because I come from a very traditional family. Like, my grandparents, they just celebrated 59 years of being together. Yeah, I know. And they're Hispanic, so they're thinking about getting married. My grandmother might be the one, you know? Nice. I'm 29 with no kids, but to be honest, none of my friends have kids neither. I think millennials just decided we're not gonna have kids. We're like, yeah, society should just end after us. Like, it's been a good run. We're like, this is it. It's gone on long enough. We'll make up any excuse not to have a kid. You ever spoke to a millennial about having a kid? They get offended. They take it as an offense. Starting a family is offensive to them. I was talking to my boy the other day. He was like, Ian, with everything going on today, I don't know if I could bring a baby into this world. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, you don't watch the news? This country could go to war at any minute. And I was like, yeah, but things got to get pretty out of hand before they consider sending your baby off to war. What exactly are you worried about? And my dad gets mad at me because he was 26 when he had his first kid. I'm 29, no kid, no son having a kid. He's like, Ian, you don't get tired of working all day and not having something to come home to? Like, as a man, don't you want something at home waiting for you when you get home, a reason to come home after work? And I was like, yeah. So I got Amazon Prime. I don't know if y'all know this, but for $125 a year, you could get the same happiness a kid gives you delivered on your doorstep in 48 hours. That's a good deal. And I hate when people try to put, especially older parents, they try to put pressure on you to settle down. I think they forget that dating today is way harder than it was back in the day. I mean, meeting is easier today, but back in the day, you ever stop to think when your parents were dating? You could do whatever you want. Nobody would know. There's no cell phones with HD cameras to capture everything. You could be married, have another family right across town. Nobody asks no questions. It was no proof. Even if you got caught red-handed, somebody happened to have a big-ass camera on them and they took a picture of you, you'd have 2 weeks before that picture even got developed. That's why when older men try to talk to me about dating, I get upset because I'm like, sir, you don't got to face the challenges that young men got to face in modern dating. Like, you never had to video chat with your girlfriend at a funeral because she didn't believe that you were at a funeral. What type of woman doesn't believe you when you tell her that somebody died and you gotta go to their funeral? And the crazy part is you really weren't going to a funeral. So now you gotta pull up to a random funeral home on your way to the club so you can take a picture about a corpse and save your relationship. Y'all wasn't dealing with that back then. And the issue is millennials, we put a lot of pressure on the people we date. That's why nobody's settling down. We expect a lot from our partners. I read an article the other day that said that the #1 turnoff for women right now is men with bad grammar. Which goes to show you how much more sophisticated women are than men. The fact that you wouldn't sleep with a guy because he has bad grammar. That'd be like a guy not having sex with a girl because she has... I can't even think of a real reason not to sleep with somebody. Guys don't care about grammar. I asked one of my boys, I was like, yo, you care about a woman's grammar? He was like, what do you mean? Like her period? I was like, never mind. Guys, I'm here, Lara. You guys been dope. Thank you.